And something I was wanting to talk about right quick, and I talk about this and I say name change on there for a reason. I was watching Colleen Ballinger's video about the word psycho and about what it means and about psychosis. And something else brought up that situation too. There was a thing going on about Enzo Amore, whose real name I don't remember, but of allegations of him causing rape or doing rape to some woman because of the mixture of meth, weed, and some type of pills or something, put this woman in a psychosis state. Anyways, so I was thinking about it. I watched, like I said, Colleen Ballinger's YouTube video, which I'd recommend you checking it out. It talks about, it's called Why She Changed Her Name. And she talks about why she said, why she changed it from psycho to soprano to Colleen Ballinger. And she pretty much explains that that psycho doesn't really mean all and out crazy. It actually is a form of psychosis where you don't have control or know what's going on as far as what's going on with you and everything else like that. It's pretty much like a psychotic breakdown. And I started thinking about that. There's a lot of people that don't know what bipolar is or don't even understand bipolar. And bipolar is definitely a mental condition that can happen, but it's also caused. It also can be hereditary, but it also can be caused. The reason that it is an issue is because a lot of people take it lightly. Certain things that may trigger certain events. One of the most important things, one of the things that's hardest for a lot of people that have bipolar is the fact that they have hard time sleeping. They have a hard time sleeping, and they also, things that normally people would shrug off, it actually tends to dwell within their brain. It pretty much bothers them until something's done. There's always something going on. There's always something that's going to cause that could easily stress them out. We tend to overthink things that we shouldn't overthink, and that's what we do. We stress about it. And the reason why I bring this up is because I've suffered from psychotic breakdowns maybe about 6 or 8 times. Each time I went to the hospital, of course, it was, if you count it, I've actually had it more than 3 times. The first one when I got was triggered because of the fact that I was stressed out about my parents getting a divorce, as well as having to deal with the loss of my brother. The second one had to do with the stress of losing a friend. I didn't cope with that too well, but also what triggered that stress was also me not sleeping. Guys, sleep is a very important thing. If a lot of the times, if you don't get rest or you don't get sleep like you need to get, what will actually end up happening is you will end up having these things where you end up being like in a dream state sometimes, and your mind starts dreaming while you're awake. And that can actually put you in a psychosis as well, is because you don't know what's going on. You're not really there. You kind of talk out of your head. At one point back in 2013, my last episode, that's what happened. I was so stressed out from work, and I was also stressed out with the fact that when me and my girlfriend got saved or rededicated our lives, she decided that it was best if we stopped having intimate relationship part and wait till we're married. Well, that type of situation, she wanted to wait till we were married. So that type of situation actually caused stress on the relationship, and because of that stress, it was like I had to start all over again, and that really messed with my head. Really weird how all of a sudden I'm having bad reception here. Let me just go ahead and turn this damn thing off. And it really stunk, because it's not a joke. It's actually very it can mess with your head. And a lot of times people use religion to be the reason on why they do certain things. Like they did in the olden days, they used religion as an excuse to cower down or to justify, instead of just saying, hey, I don't want to do it anymore. They use it as a reason, as an escape. Like, let's put the blame on this thing and say it's because of that, and then I'm not going to accept full responsibility. I'd actually had that actually, and what I'm talking about is the fact that because she made that decision, she ultimately made that decision, I had to deal with it. I could either break it off with her or choose to be with her, and I chose to be with her because I care for her a lot. And I thought, okay, well, this is what I'll do. Well, because of that, that chipped away at my mindset, because imagine being with somebody for, I think at that time it was probably about 5 years, maybe 6. Probably 7, maybe 8, I don't know. Imagine being with somebody that long and then them deciding to up and going to wait to read. It plays a mind thing on you, and that's what it did for me. It really played why this stuff. It's probably and that has issues to do with a lot of it too, and that played with my mind. A lot of times too, you have a tendency of doing things like you'll have your days. Well, other times, you'll, whatever reason, a lot of times it'll just hit you in spurts. And some so upset, you don't know why. I mean, you really why, because like you have everything. Like right now, I have a nice apartment, and if I get my GED, and which I have to do, I found out that NTM Bauer is not going to hire me until I get my GED and take this. I got a thing to do, but it's stressful, and maybe about psycho. The reason why psycho in my name is, for one, I don't spell psycho correctly because I don't consider myself psycho. There's a difference between playing misspell. The reason why I miss, because I remember my sister said to me, she said, "That's not how you spell psycho." I said, "No, I'm not a psycho." The thing is that there's a lot of people that use it as an excuse. There's some that kind of act like it's a badge or a trophy, and it's not, because a lot of times you'll have people will actually look at you or add a mental thing instead of looking at you for who you are. Like I have a personality way before I was way before I ever and I have a personality being. And what was aggravating about being bipolar is that it seemed like anything under the sun was triggered to being bipolar. Like being bipolar, they're known to have great sex. They spend money at spur of the moment on random stuff that they don't need, and they tend to jump to conclusions. It was just all this stuff, and it's like, honestly, it makes no sense, because as humans, people tend to do that ways. And starting to think, I was like, okay, well, if that's the case, how about doctors? Aren't they obsessive compulsive? I mean, to get where they are, they had to study for it. They had to complete everything, and they had to obsess over that. So, anyways, I was thinking name change. The name change? What would I try to do? What would I like? What would I want to change it to? And then as the more I thought about it, I thought, you know what? I'm not changing my name, because for me, I say break every chain, and you can't. At some point in time, you got to get tired. You're gonna get tired of doing the same old stuff, and you're gonna break it, and you're gonna break those bonds that chain you down, and that's what I did. And unfortunately, for me to do that, I ended up having a psycho break, and that finally got me to say enough's enough from where I was at. So guys, I apologize for the bad connection. If it's choppy up as crap, this is bull crap. It's in that time again. But anyways, I haven't got a chance to look at video. Makes you think, and makes you really be aware, and really makes you consider other people's feelings. There's people out there that do deal with it as myself, and we handle things different. So if you get a chance, don't look at us from what don't let us as a person, because we are human. We do have feelings. That one thing that really aggravated me was people saying, "Oh, that's your bipolar," saying that. It's like, you didn't know I had bipolar until then. And my bipolar doesn't define me. It never has. So, guys, that was my thought. I'll probably get the description of Colleen video. And also, but I just to let you know, thought about it and see if that a name change is something I ought to do, and or do you think this is fine? Anyways, guys, I just wanted your thoughts and opinions. Rate, comment, subscribe, and as always, break every chain.